The other day I had a call just kind of out of the blue. It's from somebody I didn't know, but it was a safety manager. He called me. He'd gotten my number from one of my clients and he needed help. It became really apparent that he was overwhelmed. He was confused. They had had a serious accident at their facility. The serious accident led to an amputation, which then led to an OSHA investigation. And when OSHA came on site, he just was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need help. He had reached out to my client, was a safety manager at another company, and they said, hey, you gotta contact David. I think he can help you out. So through that chain of events, we got on this conversation, and he said, what do I do? And I started explaining to him kind of how I help busy managers with safety and really put a program in place. And as a safety coach, a lot of people don't know what I do. So I thought this would be a great time for me to share this video. 3 benefits to having a safety coach. 3 benefits really clarify what I do and how I help companies. And if it's a good fit for you, whether it's me or somebody else, I encourage you to look into getting a safety coach. So let's discuss. All right, listen, before we jump into the actual content of this episode, I wanted to talk with you about my free OSHA audit checklist. This is the best way for you to prepare your team for an unexpected OSHA audit. All you got to do for this free checklist, go to my website, helpwithosha.com. You can download a free checklist and you can start learning the steps that you need to take to prepare your team in the event of an unexpected OSHA audit. Now, when it comes to being a safety coach, the story I was telling earlier, the manager that called me, he didn't know what he needed, but just to kind of give you some backstory, he had come out of maintenance and the previous safety manager had left, had gone on to another facility, another company, and that organization was left without a safety manager. Well, they recruited within, and the guy that called me was previously in maintenance, moved into safety. Everything was okay for a little while until it wasn't. And that's when the accident happened. And so somebody had a nasty accident. Like I said, that led to an amputation, which then led to OSHA coming in. And when OSHA came in and did the investigation, he just didn't know what to do. He didn't know the process that OSHA went through. He was overwhelmed. He was feeling pressure from upper management that he should know it all. And he was the first one to say, hey, I don't know it all. Do I need to go to an OSHA 10 course? Do I need to go to an OSHA 30 course? Do I need to get certified? What do I need to do to prepare myself for this job? Because it was going smooth until it wasn't. And so I was explaining, I think you need a coach. You need somebody that can give you some accountability, some clarity, and some consistency. So that's the 3 things I want to talk about today. The first big benefit of having a safety coach is a safety coach is going to give you clarity. Now, lots of times people don't know what to do. They don't know that they step into the manager role and they're like, okay, well, let me just see what we've been doing and we'll keep doing that. And sometimes what they've been doing is a great system. Sometimes there's no system at all. And so they don't really have clarity on what they need to be working on. With Port City Training, one thing I've put into place is something called PTI 360. So this is a system where you focus on your safety programs, you focus on training, and you focus on inspections. And you do this in a routine to where you're doing programs, training, and inspections with your employees, and there's really a systematic approach to safety. Now, with this, not only do you have a plan, but you also get a roadmap. You get a schedule, so it clarifies what you need to be working on. One of the biggest problems that safety managers face is they're so busy fighting fires and putting out things that are happening and they're being reactive. They don't really know how to plan so that they're being proactive with safety. And that's one of the biggest benefits of having a coach is being able to come in and say, look, on the outside looking in, I can tell you, here are your main hazards. Here are the main things that are going to get people hurt. Also, here are the main things OSHA is going to look for. And here's a plan of attack. Here's a schedule that we can set up. So we're actually walking you through what you need to be doing every month, every week, every quarter. And that game plan gives you a sense of confidence. Just knowing you have a plan gives you a sense of confidence. The other thing a safety coach does, the second big benefit, is a coach is going to give you some consistency. So I mentioned earlier about being reactive. When you're reactive, you can say, hey, I've got a great program. We're going to start doing department inspections. And you might get in a rhythm where you're doing it. You did one inspection, and you come back, you do another inspection, and then something over here happens, and it totally changes the priority to whatever just happened over here. Let's say it's an accident. Well, if there's an accident on Tuesday, before you know it, you've stopped doing your inspections and you're just doing reactions. Then you go to the manager meeting, the leadership meeting, and people are asking you 15 questions about this accident, and they start taking over and saying, well, we need to be doing this and we need to be doing that. And when I used to work over here, we always handled it this way. And you just feel like I've lost control over what the priority is. Yes, we need to handle the accident, but the consistency that comes from a routine makes such a difference. It really changes the culture of the organization. When employees know that they're going to have regular meetings, regular inspections, and these don't have to be long, drawn out processes. This could be something where you just say, hey, you know what? The second Tuesday of every month, we're having a safety committee meeting. You know, you have your people in place and you build in this calendar of events, which provides consistency. Now, with a safety coach, you have somebody that is laying out the roadmap. With your input, obviously, you're kind of working together, but someone on the outside can just see clearly where the focus needs to be. So clarity is a big part, consistency, pulling you back to the things that are going to make a big difference. That's a big part of it. And the third benefit is accountability. Now, this is kind of an ugly word. No one likes the word accountability. But I want you to think back to New Year's resolutions, right? Or maybe think forward, depending on when you're watching this. But thinking back, thinking forward, if you want to lose weight, which I think most people in America say, yeah, you know what? I want to lose weight this year. And they set this goal. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. And I'm going to go to the gym. And I'm going to eat right. And I'm going to exercise, you know. And they get on this, they got a plan, but it's not really ingrained in their normal routine. Well, let's face it, by the middle of February, you're back to what you were doing. You're sitting on the couch eating potato chips. Well, that accountability goes away if you don't have somebody there helping you, right? You don't really have any accountability. So if you want accountability with safety, having consistency, having clarity, if you want to stay on track, a coach is the best way to do that because you have these regular intervals where you're checking in. Sometimes it's monthly, sometimes it's bi-monthly, every other week, but you're staying on track with the goals that you set. And that's a big part of having a coach, is a coach isn't being reactive. They're saying, look, we had a dozen recordable accidents last year, right? Pick a number, whatever you had last year. We had a dozen. We want to get down to where we have 9. Yes, we want 0. 0 is the target we're always aiming for. But if we can reduce it down to 8 or 9, that's going to be a drastic improvement when you consider the number of hours that we work, the number of employees, our projected growth over the year. So when you set targets, then you set metrics in place that you can measure those. And the call I got, the manager that was calling me was so overwhelmed and so busy that he didn't know what way was up. And every time he went to a leadership meeting, the managers that were with him and above him were basically saying, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that, and don't forget about that thing over there. And he was like, I don't know what to do. So having a coach brought in a sense of accountability that we're working the system every time. So just to kind of highlight the three main benefits, a coach will come in and provide clarity. It'll provide a clear turnkey system for what you need to be working on. And the second part is it's going to provide consistency. So you're not just chasing your tail every week trying to put out fires, but you get a routine, you get a plan, you get a roadmap for what we're working on. And then the third piece is accountability. A safety coach is going to say, okay, we laid out the goal in January or April or whenever. Where are we now? And a big part of a good relationship with your coach is having quarterly meetings to plan out, track your progress toward your goals. It's kind of like when you get on the scale. You probably don't need to weigh yourself every day. There's some people that do that, but you probably don't need to weigh yourself every day. But once a week is a good check-in point. When it comes to safety, right? We have written programs, we have training, we have safety committee meetings. A quarterly check-in with your goals makes a huge difference. Now, I can tell you, and you go, you know what, David, I don't think I need a coach. I think I can do that on my own. And you might do great at it, but if you're like me, it helps to have somebody on the outside. It helps to have that personal trainer come and say, hey, you know what, I think you can do one more bench press. I think you can do one more sit-up. I think you can push through, run another quarter mile. Having somebody to motivate you, to come alongside you and work with you really makes a drastic difference. And the cool thing about a safety coach, kind of one of the benefits, not only is it clarity and consistency and accountability, but the truth is a good coach is going to pay for themselves because your workers' comp is going to go down, your accidents are going to go down, morale is going to go up. And one of the biggest benefits is that clarity where you go, hey, I know what I'm doing, right? I might not know everything about safety. I've been doing this over 15 years. I don't know everything about safety, but I know what has worked and I know a system that works. And that's what makes all the difference in the world. So if you are interested in getting a coach to come help you, the first step is simply scheduling a free safety assessment phone call. You can go on my website, Help with OSHA. I'll put a note here in the show notes so you can actually click on that and you can schedule a free safety assessment call. This is a 1-hour call where you'll talk to me or another coach and they'll walk you through where you are now, where you want to be, and what obstacles you have to overcome to get there. It's a free call. It's a free assessment. I think it's just crazy if you don't do it, but hey, that's what I think. That you have nothing to lose, and the best thing about it, if you don't want to work with us, or you say, yeah, this isn't a good fit, or maybe down the road, that's cool. You're not going to hurt my feelings, but it will give you a next step to work on. So that free call, free safety assessment is going to give you a next step, a priority that you can put on your calendar. And like I said, if you say, you know what, we want to dive in and do safety coaching, we've got memberships available for different size companies and really different needs, because not every company is the same, and we want to really provide you with a specific coaching package that fits you. So with all that being said, I hope you found this beneficial. Do everything you can to keep the people you work with safe, because no one should get hurt at work.